Hello everybody and welcome to Let's Play StarDrive with me, Get Daved. This has been a pretty highly requested LP, so we're doing it. I was also really excited about this game. It's a real-time 4X space strategy game. Some have called it the spiritual sequel to Master of Orion 2. That is a completely baseless and unfair statement, but it's still got potential, so we're going to play it anyway. We're playing the beta right now because the game doesn't come out for, I believe, 4 more days. So, you'll notice this episode is going to have a negative number. It'll be like, Let's Play StarDrive part -4 or something. That might change. I'm not sure how many episodes I'm going to be able to upload before the release date, and then with the real version of the game, that'll be part 1. So, with all that stated, let's get going here. Also, I don't know a lot about the game. I am really not good at it, and I am going to... I'm playing on easy because I've played this game for definitely at least 1 hour. So, yeah, I barely know anything about it. So if you know something about the game and can recognize the mistakes I'm making, please put it in the comment section because I don't want to play my real LP of the game on easy. Just 'cause, what that would do for my cred. Alright. So, pretty much standard 4X space strategy shenanigans going on here. You can pick your race. Got the Colonizing. Now, I know it looks like they're these little owl dudes, but really it's this, note the chords. They're mind-controlled, and this, pod-like, plant is, getting them to do all of his grunt work. So, Marxist nightmare. The Dreylock are kind of like the Darlocks from Master of Orion. Humans, good research and production. The text on the side is smart text. It just it's dynamic based on the racial traits you pick. So, Kolrathi are very similar to the Bullrathi, except in appearance. They're a bit more like the Kilrathi from Wing Commander. They're good at ground combat and everything. Yeah, I don't know. A good fighting race. So, these guys are really funny to talk to. Also, every species has its own, I don't know, speech-isms, I guess would be the best way of describing it. Which is why I will definitely not be playing as the Kolrathi, because they're kind of like samurai bears. So they sometimes will speak to you in haikus and stuff. So I don't want to miss out on that right now anyway. Opterus, it's kind of like talking to the Master Control program from Tron. Actually, Cybernetic, 8 points. Let's check it out. So they're sorted into different things. I imagine cybernetic would be under... not under physical. That's kind of interesting. Do not eat food, instead eating production. That actually would be really useful. I might try playing as them. No farming for me. The polyps are space hippies, would be my best way of describing them. These guys are dangerous, and these guys are dangerous. That's what you need to know. Alright, I'll play as the Opterus. You can customize any race any way you want. Actually, no, I won't do that. I wanna learn a little bit about farming, so I'll pick the humans to be boring right now, and then I tell you what, you guys make some comments in the comments section before the game comes out, and we'll figure it out. So yeah, we can get rid of any of these traits or modify them and so on. Research bonuses are definitely nice. Technology is probably, I would say, less valuable in this game than it is in other ones. I'll just play with the stock race, but I'm letting you know, I'd probably turn that one off in this one. Production is nice. There's this very similar one. Money is nice. There's one which makes... It sounds similar, so production bonus is one thing, but there's one that makes your ships cheaper, and that's actually a little bit better. Prototype flagship. So you start with one good ship. It's only worth 1 point, but I would possibly trade it and I don't know, try upgrading a different trait. More ship hit points, that would be okay. Terrible fighter pilots contemplating, what should I do? Alright, we're gonna play, that is the only game mode, okay. Yeah, we'll just go on the defaults for everything else, except we'll be playing on incompetent difficulty. Oh, rule options. I could slow down the FTL drives. Prevent warping when close to a planet. I'm going to keep that on default. That's interesting. I think I can actually figure out how that's going to affect things. Welcome to the loading screen, everybody. Alright, now right away we're going to get to what I consider to be the most damning feature of the game, which is the fact that it is real-time. The problem with going real-time on some of these games is that they've broken it down to having 5-second turns, like that's how long it takes a tick to go by. Ultimately, these always break down into turn-based games, really. And in an effort to make a faster-paced game by going real-time, because you might think that would be faster-paced, but in practice they often aren't. Alright, so this is the solar system. You can tell because it's a sun named Sol at the heart of it. And welcome to the galaxy. Our goal is to start out well. And we probably in this first video won't get enough time to get into a lot of the depth in the game, but we'll do some preliminary looking around. Maybe set up a colony or two. Alright, no good planets. So by default, a species homeworld has 2 fertility and 2 mineral richness. How it works is if you have 1 population unit working and a planet has a mineral richness of 2, then they will produce 2 production. You have to factor in taxes which cut into that and so on, but this is a bit like Master of Orion 1 in that the production unit, like the credit, a credit of production is equal, a credit of food is equal to, all of these things boil down to like a unit of work, and that is the fundamental unit that translates through everything. So it's like a BC in Master of Orion 1 if you're familiar. And if you're not, you should play that game because everybody's been ripping it off for 20 years. Or probably 320 by the time you're watching this. Alright, for our opening technology, so I'm a big fan of the rover bay, so I'm going to open with that. That gives us 1 easy production unit, which I think of as being an important start. Yeah, I'm going to take a look at this scout here. Get him auto-exploring the galaxy. The colony ship will just let orbit Earth. We're researching something. Oh yeah. The Perseverance. It's Perseverance, but I'll probably say it that way just because I don't know. That's something I do sometimes. I'm crazy. Alright, this is the home world. We can build a variety of things here. It has 2 and 2 for its stats, so that's pretty good. That's sort of your baseline. The population's nice and high, and the most important attribute of your homeworld is it actually starts fully populated. I'm going to crank down the food production just to start off, because I would like to get going on other things first. We do start with some so-so combat technology, and it is important to have a bit of a fleet in this game. But I'm just going to crank research for now, because that will get us more production as soon as we get it. Alright, and let the turns begin. Okay, so dude just entered, I guess, hyperspace. He's going FTL for us. So we're searching for a planet that definitely has above 1 in both areas. Unexplored barren, volcanic, tundra. So the tundra could be okay. Not habitable at all. Okay, no food. So we could import food, or we could use technology to help food production. But at 1.7, that's not really that worth it. Alright, 0.8 and 1.2. That's okay, but I don't really want to... I'm not going to get married to something that's below 1. That's a decent backup option. I would say in this game, colonizing rapidly is not as important as it often is. Sains 2. Signs? Sains. Alright, it has an anomaly, but is a terrible planet, so... Anomalies... you know what, I'll go back to Sol real quick to talk about this. So if we take a look at Earth... I'm just going to build one of those guys so I don't get caught with my pants down. You can see it's got a grid system for the planet. It's 35 squares. The shaded ones are not currently habitable. This is very similar to Galactic Civilizations 2. A barren planet has a very low max population, but will also have very few habitable squares. Now you can make it so you can put a building on them by researching a technology called biospheres, and then you can build, it's a dome, and you can build underneath the dome, but you would have to build a biosphere on every single one of these tiles. Which, you know, in the long run could be worthwhile, but definitely slows a colony's development. And when I say barren planets don't have a lot of habitable zones, that is a big understatement. I mean, they usually have like one. Alright. So, crappy production, but they do make their own food, or they do have a good food rate. I'm gonna colonize it. For a first colony, having somebody who can make some food is important. So it was a pretty good system overall. Just lacking in the food. Alright. So now that we have our small transport ready to go, we can start giving it orders. You can do that by right-clicking on it, or you can click on here. So I'm going to get this first one transporting goods. So what it's going to do is, it's going to go to planets that have lots of goods. So you'll see Earth is stocking a decent number of things. And then it'll transport food or production to the planets that have less, and it does that all automatically. So that's a very useful feature. I'm also going to rush production on this. It costs you 1 coin and 1 of your stocked production to do that. But it basically makes this next transport ready to go in real time. And I'm going to set it to transport colonists. Now Earth's working on the Space Marine. It is worth having more than a few ships handy. So the Vulcan Scout can actually fight. Not well, but it doesn't pay to have a military that looks weak in this game. We might encounter an alien species pretty soon here. Oh, unexplored Terran. Wow, really? Okay, so we met somebody. Oceanic Rich. And somebody is serious about getting this. Xenofighter and heavy drone. I guess that would be... No, they've got 2 of them. Well, so they've started with shields, so we don't really want to tangle with them right now. But that is a fantastic planet. Yeah, aside from the lower population, better from our home than our homeworld. Alright, gonna inspect our new planet here. No sense working on science for it right now. I can just get them up to 1 production. you know, I'd probably rather have them just filling up that cache right now. And as soon as we get the rover base, then we're going to have something interesting to do there. Alright, I'm going to turn up the speed while we get a little bit of exploration done here. Click on the Empire tab to make sure your planets aren't sitting idle for too long. Which is kind of like the colony screen in Master of Orion 2. Oh, good. Massive hyperspace flux. But we got a research breakthrough, so we could so when we research this technology, we get the associated applications of it. So we can store an extra 100 units of food in production on a planet, and the rover bay, automatic 1 production. May not sound like much because we can easily get so many at our homeworld. But at a new colony, a guaranteed 1 production is a big deal. Alright. Go for it, guys. As fast as you can. And I'm not going to switch to... Oh, wow. Clock is ticking. I don't want that. Not sure why that looks like a research thing, but... Alright, and I didn't actually pick a new technology here. Now, that one planet was really good, and I wouldn't mind if I could muscle it from them, which is probably going to be pretty involved. But... yeah, to do that I would probably need... shields would definitely help. And then any form of better weaponry would probably go a long way too. And then it would still be a pretty significant investment. Corvettes would also help quite a bit. I think they were originally in one of the earlier patches called Heavy Fighters, but... okay. I think we would need 3 technologies to be able to compete with them. Corvette hulls would be one of them. I think I'm going to play the patient game and go for scientific foundations first. If we start finding planets that have... enjoy the music, by the way. If we start finding planets that have really good production but are lacking in food, like if we came across like a 0.53, that'd be kind of tempting. I don't think I'm going to go aggressively for biospheres unless it's a really amazing planet. And again, I don't really know a ton about the game, so feel free to correct me, or just tell me if you found a much more effective strategy, because there are some people who've been playing this game for a lot longer than I have. Alright. Also, I suppose I should check out the homeworld and get them going on the rover bay. This is a readout of how much money we're making at the colony. Click on the budget, we can adjust our taxes and everything. You really, really don't want to go into the negative on your budget. Like, don't go into negative credits. I promise you only horrible things await you. Might as well speed up the clock while we go through this hyperspace flux. Kinda lame that we had one this early in the game. Alright. Should probably just pause it and crank that speed down. Okay. trading goods seeking route. I'm just going to cancel that. Now will you go? Why won't you deliver it? Oh well. We'll worry about that later. At the heart of this game is the ship design. We will eventually get to real-time combat, I hope. There we go. Starvation negated. Yeah, real-time combat, which happens just on screen. You can do some really crazy stuff like control ships directly. Like, I am controlling this ship manually right now, which is kind of a cool twist. But there you go. You can see our big forward weapons. You can also see the dent it's making in our reactor. This is our output per unit of time. Oh. We're exploring again. And this is the shield reserve, which is really your power reserve that can go towards your shields. I just don't want to... Yeah, there we go. Relinquish control. I don't really care too much about that right now. Alright, Yindrax. Not too good. Unexplored gas giant. Oh, wow! Okay, so when we click the colonize button, yeah, now we're talking. And let's just send some people to go, I don't know, try adding some authority to a claim in that system. Alright, when we click colonize, the nearest shipyard is going to begin work on the colony ship. I'm just going to double check that that indeed was happening at Seoul. No, did it happen? If I unpause it, will it queue up? Yeah, there we go. I'm not making this up. And since we have some stocked production, I'm just going to invest in it and buy it right now. Because I can do that. And it will have the cached orders. It's a pretty curious heading you're taking. Maybe we got a little bit of bug in this version of the game. Okay, well I'm not gonna question it. It looks like the best way to get to that is through Sains. Last time I was playing the game there wasn't a huge concept of a space lane, but again, the AI is pretty good in this game. Or at least the assistance to the player is pretty good in this game. Alright. I also was doing one stupid thing. Something you should do at the beginning of every game is set your homeworld to export its resources. That might explain why the transport ship was so confused there. And I am going to probably go for a couple more transports. It's important to have Space Marines on hand, but The key to population growth is getting people off of your homeworld quickly. At least in the early game. I mean, the key to population growth really is good old-fashioned love-making. I'll have to see if there's a technology for that later. You researched Barry White. Also, at the very beginning of the game we toggled off gravity wells for in-system warping. So they didn't actually have to go that far, but they used their FTL drive anyway to just make it just a little skip. Turning that off, I assume, means they would have to use normal propulsion. So that would make FTL less important and normal propulsion more important, which sounds obvious but could have very serious consequences to your ship design, which, as I mentioned, even though we haven't seen it, is at the heart of this game. Let's get this show on the road. Boom! Colonized. Okay, so they don't have a ton of habitable tiles. Ooh! A mysterious tomb. Well, we can send a ground troop there eventually, once we get ground troops. I don't like the idea of discovering horrors, though. And yeah, spaceport, I guess. I'm just gonna hit the pause button. There we go. Sometimes... Sweet. Sometimes it takes a little bit before the game registers that there's population on it. I guess the people were still getting off the colony ship. Alright, so Incabulos has been colonized. We're also very close to getting research lab technology, and Sanes, the mediocre, the poor, is almost has a rover bay. Not quite, but almost. Just gonna visit Seoul. Yeah. Start transporting people, we'll get the next one transporting goods. I will be patient and I will wait the necessary... Each turn's 5 seconds, so if we speed it up to be 4x, each turn is 1¼ seconds of real life time. Small transport. The goods. I guess food is more important than production early on. And on that note, everybody, I'm going to end this episode. I'll see you on the next one. Please tell me how to play this game.